Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. Today we are jumping into the world of dating as a transgender person.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it is, and we have some pretty powerful source material for this one.
Okay.
These sources bring us a lot of personal stories and insights about, searching for love and connection.
Mm-hmm.
Dating can be tough for anyone,
Right.
but for transgender people specifically, it can be even more so with its own unique challenges and triumphs.
Definitely.
So today we'll be exploring the emotional side of things, societal hurdles, and of course the power of finding love that truly validates who you are.
Your sources do a great job at showing that human need for connection that's at the heart of it all.
Yeah, you're right, they do. And that's one of the things that really stood out to me.
Oh,
Just how emotionally intense dating can be for a transgender person. I
mm
mean, you're already dealing with the usual dating anxieties,
Yeah,
but then there's this added layer of when and how to share such a personal part of yourself
for sure.
with a potential partner.
Yeah, that's huge.
It really is.
And one of the things that comes up a lot is just how vulnerable that moment of coming out to a potential partner can feel.
I can imagine.
One person even described it as being on a knife's edge, you know?
Wow.
That feeling of hope for acceptance, but also the fear of rejection.
Yeah, I can only imagine how heavy that must feel. It makes you think about the importance of choosing the right time and the right platform to share that part of yourself.
Exactly.
Some people feel comfortable putting it right out there on their dating profiles,
Yeah.
while others prefer to wait and kind of feel out the connection first.
Yeah, and I think finding what feels safe and authentic to you is what really matters.
Right,
There's no one right way to do it.
definitely.
And it's also worth mentioning there are some amazing resources and online communities out there specifically for transgender people who are dating.
Oh, it's good to know.
Yeah, you can find groups for just about any interest and even dating apps that are designed with inclusivity in mind, which I think makes a huge difference.
That's super helpful. And, speaking of finding safe spaces, it's clear from your sources that navigating rejection can be incredibly difficult for transgender individuals.
Oh, yeah,
And it's
absolutely.
not just like, oh, they weren't into me. It can feel like a rejection of their whole identity.
Right, it cuts deep.
Yeah, it does.
One person in your sources shared their experience of being ghosted after their date found out they were trans.
Oh, man, that's awful.
And they talked about how it left them feeling completely unworthy of love.
That's heartbreaking.
It really is, and it just underscores the need for more understanding and empathy in the dating world.
It's a reminder that those societal biases we see out there, they don't just stay out there.
Right.
They can creep into those personal interactions, and that can be so painful for people.
Yeah, it's tough. But,
Yeah.
even with those challenges, your sources also talk about the incredible power of finding someone who truly sees and accepts you for
Yeah.
who you are beyond any labels or anything like that. And the joy that comes with that kind of validation really shines through in these stories.
I bet.
One person described it as finding someone who just immediately accepted them, no explanations, needed no drama.
Wow.
It was the first time they felt truly loved, and you can just feel the impact of that kind of acceptance.
It's like finding that breath of fresh air, you know?
It is.
Knowing you can be yourself and be celebrated for it.
Totally.
But of course, that doesn't erase the real challenges that a lot of transgender people still face in the dating world.
No, it doesn't. We see that frustration come up again and again,
Yeah.
constantly encountering misconceptions, outdated stereotypes.
Right?
It's like you're always having to educate people about your identity.
Yeah.
And that can be really emotionally exhausting.
One person even talked about going on a date where the other person kept asking,
Uh-oh.
but how do you feel about being a woman?
Oh, wow.
Almost like it was something they were still struggling with
Yeah.
instead of just part of who they are.
It's really sad to hear stories like that. It shows you how much emotional labor can be involved
Right.
in having to repeatedly explain and defend your identity.
Hmm.
And that can really take away from the joy of just getting to know someone.
Absolutely.
And it's not just the misconceptions,
Right?
There's also that pressure to conform to societal norms, the
Yeah.
expectation of passing.
Yeah. And that pressure can be so intense.
For sure.
One person even talked about feeling like they had to pass perfectly
Mm-hmm.
to even be considered attractive.
Wow.
And it ended up making them feel really inauthentic.
Right?
It's such a complex issue.
It is. And for anyone listening who might not be familiar with the term,
Yeah, good point.
passing basically means being perceived as the gender you identify with.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a lot of pressure to carry.
It is.
And not everyone even wants or feels the need to pass.
Absolutely. It's so important to put self-acceptance first,
Right.
above trying to meet those external expectations.
Yeah. It's about being true to yourself.
Exactly. And your sources also really emphasize the need for safe spaces
Hmm.
and respectful boundaries when it comes to dating as a transgender person.
Yeah, you have to feel comfortable enough to share your identity
Right.
without that fear of being judged or,
Yeah.
someone being overly invasive.
It's so sad to see that this isn't always the case.
Yeah, for sure.
One
Yeah.
person shared a story about a date that started out okay, but then
Yeah.
things kind of took a turn when the other person got a little too inquisitive about their past and their transition.
I see.
They ended up feeling more like an object of curiosity
Right.
than a potential partner.
That's tough. It really highlights why setting those boundaries is so important.
Yeah, it does.
Dating should be about connecting with someone
Right.
on a level of mutual respect and understanding, not feeling like you're in some interrogation or like
Yeah.
you're putting on a show or something.
Right. And it's a reminder that not everyone is approaching this with the same level of sensitivity
Definitely not.
and respect.
No.
But even with these challenges, your sources also show us the incredible joy and triumphs that are possible,
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
dating as a transgender person.
Yeah, you really get that sense of hope and resilience reading these stories.
Yeah.
Finding that unconditional love and acceptance is a powerful thing.
Right.
Imagine, meeting someone who just embraces you fully
Mm-hmm.
without any hesitation or conditions.
Yeah.
It's like a weight lifted off your shoulders.
Yeah, I bet.
One person even described it as feeling truly loved for the first time
Okay.
because their partner didn't make them explain anything or create drama.
Wow.
It was just pure acceptance.
That's beautiful.
And it is. It really shows the transformative power of that kind of love.
It's a reminder that true love is out there
It is.
and that everyone deserves a partner who sees them for who they are.
Exactly.
Mm.
And beyond that initial acceptance,
Okay.
there's also this beautiful theme of empowerment
I like that.
that comes from being vulnerable.
Yeah.
It might seem counterintuitive, but the act of choosing to be open about your identity,
Mm-hmm.
even with that risk of rejection, can be incredibly courageous.
I love that perspective.
Yeah.
And it makes sense.
Yeah.
One person shared that being open about their transition with their partner was terrifying,
Mm-hmm.
but also incredibly liberating.
Wow.
Like this huge sense of relief and freedom in just being their authentic self.
I can see that.
Yeah.
It's powerful.
It is vulnerability as this source of strength
Right.
and authenticity.
It shows you the kind of connection you can build
Yeah.
when two people are really open and honest with each other.
It's amazing. And it really shows you how a relationship can be this amazing opportunity for growth,
Yeah.
both individually and as a couple.
Mm-hmm.
One person even described their relationship as like this ongoing journey of learning communication and mutual support.
Right.
It's so cool to see how a partnership can be this catalyst for exploration and understanding,
Definitely.
especially when you're navigating something as personal as gender identity.
Yeah, it really speaks to the importance of having a partner
Right.
who's open-minded, willing to learn, and truly supportive of your journey. Someone who celebrates your growth and evolution
Exactly.
instead of trying to limit it or control it.
Yeah. And stepping back for a minute, I think what's really powerful about all of these stories and experiences
Okay.
is the emphasis on authenticity.
Yeah, it's that common thread that runs through everything.
Right.
This desire to be seen, understood, and loved for who you truly are.
Exactly.
Without having to hide or compromise any part of yourself.
And it goes beyond just finding that acceptance from others.
Right.
It starts with self-acceptance,
Mm.
embracing your own journey, feeling comfortable in your own skin.
You got it. Your sources really drive home that self-love is the foundation
Okay.
for healthy and fulfilling relationships.
I like
When you truly accept yourself, you're more likely to attract partners who will accept you too.
like this ripple effect.
Yeah, exactly.
Self-acceptance radiates outwards and creates space for real connection.
I agree.
But we can't ignore the fact that those societal biases are still out there,
Right.
and unfortunately, they don't just disappear overnight.
It's true. These biases are often so deeply ingrained in our culture
Yeah.
that they have a real impact on the dating experiences of transgender individuals.
It's true. The sources you shared don't shy away from the realities of discrimination, prejudice,
Right.
and even violence that transgender people can face,
Yeah.
both in general and specifically in the dating world.
It's a tough reality.
It is. It's a reminder that we still have work to do as a society
Definitely.
to create a world where everyone feels safe and respected,
Mm.
no matter their gender identity.
Absolutely.
And it's a call to action for all of us
I agree.
to examine our own biases,
Mhm.
educate ourselves,
Yeah.
and advocate for greater understanding and acceptance.
Couldn't agree more.
And it's not just about those big, grand gestures.
Right.
It's those everyday interactions, small acts of kindness and respect that can make a real difference.
It's about treating everyone with dignity,
Right.
empathy, and compassion,
Yeah,
recognizing that shared humanity we all have.
exactly.
It's about challenging those discriminatory words and actions whenever
Oh,
we see them,
yes.
and creating a culture where everyone feels safe to just be themselves.
Well said. I think this deep dive has really shed light on the many sides of dating as a transgender person.
It has.
It's a journey full of unique challenges and complexities, but also these incredible moments of joy, connection, and empowerment.
It's really inspiring to see the resilience and strength
Yeah.
that come through in these stories.
They do.
Despite the obstacles they face, transgender individuals are out there
Right.
navigating the dating world with courage, vulnerability, and that deep desire for authentic connection.
It's a beautiful reminder that love really knows no boundaries,
It doesn't.
and that everyone deserves to find a partner who truly sees and accepts them for who they are. So as we wrap up, I want to leave you with a question to think about.
Okay, I like it.
What does it actually mean to truly see and accept someone for who they are?
That's a good one.
Beyond all those societal expectations and assumptions.
That's a question that challenges us all.
It does.
So look at our own biases and challenge those preconceived notions we have about gender and identity.
Right.
It's about embracing the beauty of diversity in all its forms.
Exactly.
It's a reminder that empathy, understanding, and respect are the keys
Yes.
to building a more inclusive and compassionate world.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
And not just in dating, but in every aspect of life.
Well said. Thanks for diving into this with me.
It was my pleasure.